Hello, my friends. Welcome to another fun-filled episode of Attorney Session Reacts. I'm your host, Attorney Marcus Session. Today, a little off the legal topic, but it's more about, let's say, ethics. It's about racism, right? Or whether or not racism is existing right now in the WNBA. So let's talk about Caitlin Clark. Let's talk about the impact she's having on women's basketball and the jealousy and the hate she's been accruing from various members of the WNBA community. I think it's horrible, right? Because she's bringing in all this revenue, all this attention to the game of women's basketball and still has to deal with this. So watch the intro and we'll be right back. A little story. It's about a white man and a black man in the late 70s, early 80s, who came into an NBA from college with a bit of a rivalry. These two gentlemen were superstar character and caliber players. One larger than life character and personality, and the other one kind of laid back and stoic, but just a workhorse, right? These two gentlemen were given lots of attention when they came into the NBA. And at that time, if you don't know, the NBA didn't play their games live, right? Nobody wanted to see it. They were delayed. You would see an NBA game at like 12 o'clock at night, 1 o'clock in the morning, right? It was all delayed. When these two gentlemen came into the league and all this attention surrounding their rivalry and the way they played the game of basketball started changing, and they started getting TV deals. Once they started getting TV deals, it started boosting the revenue that the NBA has so they can pay the players more. Did these guys fly on private jets to places, and were they given endorsements other players weren't given? Other players in the league before them, like Dr. J and Moses Malone, all those guys, were they given certain things that those guys didn't get? Yes, they were, and they were younger. I don't remember hearing any reports or reading any reports that the other NBA players were jealous because of that, right? They knew these two guys were the cash cows, and they knew that the more attention these guys got, the better it was going to benefit the league as a whole, especially with that TV deal. People don't realize TV deals are the main source of revenue for sports leagues, right? So that's how they are able to pay the players these multi-million-dollar contracts. The fact that Caitlin Clark's style of play, and because of who she is, right, coming into the league as a rookie, getting all of this attention, getting a multi-million-dollar deal from Nike, being flown on charter planes, the viewership that the WNBA has been having, especially during her games, we're talking about 2 million viewers, which is the most that any WNBA game has had since 2018, right? So we're talking all this attention she's bringing to the game of women's basketball, and you got teammates hating on her. They're mad because she's getting the attention. They're not passing her the ball. They're looking her off. That means not passing her the ball when she's wide open, and they're taking stupid shots, and they wonder why they're losing. You got other women in the league who've been there before. Diana Taurasi, who I'm a big fan of, saying that, she's going to find out because she's playing with 18-year-olds and she's going to be playing with grown women. Diana, you played with 18-year-olds at some point as well, and you were dominating them. And you came into the league dominating. So what makes you think that she won't come into the league dominating? I don't get it. I don't understand it. It's hate. I don't know where it's coming from, but these women better watch out because they're messing up their cash cow. And I believe that the WNBA needs to protect this cash cow if they want the league to get better TV contracts, if they want the league to get better endorsements and deals outside of the game of basketball for them and their players. She's the answer. Ride the cash cow or milk it, whatever you want to do. Preserve it. All right, let's get into the videos.
What do you think about Ice Cube and the Big Three offering Caitlin Clark $5 million to play in their league?
Well, I have a lot of thoughts. But the first one is, so you offered the contract to a player who's not yet even in the WNBA. Big Three does not happen during overseas season. So that doesn't make sense.
That's true.
And then for us to get, just constantly shit on, Like, you can't even acknowledge the growth and how amazing the WNBA is doing because shit like this happens.
First off, the growth. What growth? Every single WNBA team, and these are just the facts, every single WNBA team is in the red every single year, which means they are not profitable. They are not profiting. The NBA supplements the WNBA financially. That's just the truth. So I don't understand what she's talking about.
You don't even have to bring up the W. If you're gonna say that it's for that, then stand on that. But I don't think it's. I think he's trying to make a business decision, which he's a businessman. That makes sense. But to mask it in this, I want to uplift and support WNBA players and women athletes is kind of a cop out, I think, and I don't think it really makes any sense.
No, it makes sense. Ice Cube's actually a pretty good businessman, right? The first hardcore rapper I've ever known whose records were produced by Disney, right? So Ice Cube is a hell of a businessman, right? He sees the cash cow, right? And when she's talking about it's not during overseas time or overseas season, how most of the women in the WNBA really make their money is that they go to places like Europe and China during the month of August, September, and they stay there for about 7, 8, 10 months, and they play basketball in those countries professionally, and usually they're paid a lot more money. I know when Diana Taurasi and when Brittany Griner were playing in Russia, they were making upwards to $1 to $1.5 million playing in those countries. So these ladies make a lot of money overseas. You know, with what Caitlyn is doing, she's paving the way to where she can do other things for that whole 9-month period, like maybe broadcasting or maybe playing in the Big Three and making $5 million while the WNBA is not in season. So these girls are not realizing the way that the attention she's getting is paving a financial future for them, and it's mind-boggling to me that the hate is going on.
Way, we have Lexi Brown hating on Caitlin Clark's $5 million offer from Ice Cube to join the Big Three. Just like we have talked about in previous videos, the best doesn't always get paid the most. Caitlin Clark got that huge offer because she brings in a massive audience that no one in the WNBA could bring in. Not only is Clark a very skilled basketball player, but she's also very entertaining to watch.
She is extremely entertaining to watch. She plays like Steph Curry. Yes, the Steph Curry who was one of 4 players to ever change the game of basketball. And those players are Magic Johnson and Larry Bird, who saved the league from bankruptcy. And the third player is Michael Jordan, who made the game of basketball and the NBA a global sport, changed the way that endorsement deals are given to athletes. And then you have Steph Curry, who made the three-point shot a high percentage shot. When I grew up playing basketball, all my coaches would ever say is that the three-pointer is a low percentage shot. Don't shoot it. Go to the bucket, shoot a 2, get a layup, and get a mid-range jumper. They never preached 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, but now everybody shoots the 3. Caitlin Clark plays like a female Steph Curry. Steph Curry is extremely exciting to watch. Caitlin Clark is extremely exciting to watch. So I don't understand where the hate is coming from.
And that's why Ice Cube would make such a large offer.
You asked me about Caitlin. If you're going to break a record, to me, if it's legitimate, you have to break that record in the same amount of time that that player set it.
Okay.
So if Kelsey Plum set that record in 4 years, well, Caitlin should have broke that record in 4 years. But because there's a COVID year, then there's another year, you know what I mean? So she's already had an extra year to break that record. So is it truly a broken record? Yeah, that'll go in the record books as Caitlin Clark is the all-time, whatever it is. I don't even know what the number is, but that's the way it'll be. And I don't think it should be.
So Caitlin Clark was in college 4 years. She played 4 years. She broke that record in 4 years. See, it's not just the hate. It's the lying on top of the hate is what I can't deal with. If you're going to tell a story, tell the truth. Tell the truth, Cheryl. I'm really disappointed in Cheryl Swoops. Why would you do that? Right? Why would you lie or simply comment from not knowing the true facts? And a lot of that is going on.
Talk about how much more experience that gives you over other players coming in, right? So people say, dang, like he or she is killing them. But you have a 25-year-old playing against a 20-year-old. Mm-hmm. Like,
she's not even 25 right now. I don't get it. She's not 25.
you should be killing them. Because you've been doing it a lot longer than they have. Clark right now probably takes about 40 shots a game.
She hasn't taken 40 shots in any game she's played in the WNBA.
Carry on.
And Gilbert,
like that.
Hell yeah.
Cheryl Swoops told 3 big lies in her statements about Caitlin Clark. The first is how many years she played college basketball, implying that she played 5 years because of COVID. In reality, she's played 4, just like Kelsey Plum, and she even broke the record in less games. The second lie is how many shots a game Caitlin Clark takes, saying she takes 40 shots a game. Over the course of her career, Clark has only shot 19 shots a game, which is less than half of what Swoop said. And finally, Swoop said that Caitlin Clark is 25 years old, when in reality, she's only 22. Cheryl would then make a response after being called out for lying.
I'm going to say this, and then
no, you shouldn't say a damn thing at this point. So, and everything you see on TV in imaging, it's done on purpose, right? When people wear certain clothing, it's on purpose, right? She's trying to promote this idea that black players in the WNBA don't get treated the same as Caitlin Clark. And if Caitlin Clark was black, she wouldn't be getting this type of attention. And I beg to differ. She would be getting this type of attention if she was black. Let's keep it about basketball. Caitlin Clark is a cash cow for the WNBA, right? So let's keep it about basketball. She's more exciting to watch. She shoots the ball better. She dribbles the ball better. She just brings fans to the game, right? She just brings eyes to the WNBA. So when I was in high school, I played with a guy. He was a McDonald All-American. His name was Alton Ford, rest his soul. He was one of my best friends. And I only got recruited because I was playing alongside a McDonald All-American in high school. I got attention because I was playing alongside a McDonald All-American, right? So I didn't get jealous. I knew he was the guy. He was that guy. He was 6'9", 275 pounds of muscle in high school, a man amongst boys. So, right, I knew playing alongside of him would get me recruited, and it did. So I'm not understanding why they can't just benefit from the cash cow instead of trying to beat it down.
I want to be done with this whole conversation. So for people to come at me and say that I made those comments because I'm a racist, first of all, black people can't be racist.
That's a lie. We can. I ain't gonna lie. We can.
But that's the farthest thing from my mind. I grew up in a very small West Texas town, predominantly white. My best childhood friend is white. So it's important.
Cheryl Swoops pulled the racist comment, right? Whenever somebody is a racist, they say, oh, I got a best friend that's the other race. Truth is, we don't give a damn, Cheryl. What does this have to do with basketball?
For me, that I speak up for people that look like me. It's Black History Month. So, our ancestors fought and died for us to have opportunities that we have today.
What does that have to do with the game of basketball? I agree. Our ancestors fought the hardest fight and the most long-suffering fight this country has ever seen. But what exactly does that have to do with the game of basketball right now? And people like her ruining the attention and the revenue a player like Caitlin Clark can bring to the WNBA as a whole and to them, to their pockets.
I have no issues with Caitlin. Her breaking the record, I think obviously is a tremendous accomplishment. Although, we could get into that discussion also because there's a big debate on Lynette Woodard having the actual record.
I'm not really sure what any of that had to do with her lying, and I like how she still insists that Caitlin Clark shouldn't have the record she legitimately broke. But our last hater is Jemele Hill. During an interview, Jemele Hill made multiple claims against Clark, saying that the women's basketball audience would be growing with or without Clark, also mentioning that Clark is only getting so much attention because she's white.
That the criticism is often very one-sided. Caitlin Clark talks her. Caitlin Clark is demonstrative. Caitlin Clark, people aren't bothered by that. People aren't bothered by it because they're caught up in the narrative of, oh, here's this, wonderful, kind soul from the great state of Iowa representing Middle America. So they put all these what happens in these sports race wars is everybody projects their own shit on the people coming.
All of this hate going towards Caitlin Clark from the WNBA doesn't make any sense. WNBA players and the media have been complaining about lack of pay and a small audience forever now.
Been complaining forever, right? When you don't bring butts to the seats, you don't bring fans to the arenas, you don't give companies a reason to give you money, right? But now that there's a reason for these companies to give you money, and there's a reason for the American fans to watch you, now you want to get jealous because it isn't you, or because the person who's getting the attention, who's bringing it in, isn't black? Yeah, it makes sense.
So why would you hate on the biggest prospect of all time? She has the potential to completely change the WNBA. They could make millions from this, but instead, they allow their jealousy to get in the way and complain about the biggest prospect the WNBA has ever seen.
I'm going to tell you like this. If that coach for the Fever doesn't step in and stop this mess going on between her and her teammates and be like, look, Caitlin is the person. Y'all can go if y'all want to go. If the commissioner of the WNBA, if she doesn't step in and say, hey, referees, when she's getting roughed up, y'all need to call that. Y'all need to call that. Because referees are allowing her to get roughed up. They're allowing her to get banged and bruised. And no, we don't need that happening. Call it a fair game. She gets fouled, call that shit. If these people don't step in and stop this, you're going to risk losing all the financial benefits that comes with having a young phenom in your league and on your roster. The league protected Magic and Bird. The league protected Michael Jordan. The league protected Shaquille O'Neal. The league protected Kobe Bryant. The league protects LeBron James. The league protected Steph Curry. The NBA knew what needed to be done in order for them to profit. If the WNBA wants to profit, they'll protect Caitlin Clark. Hey, thank you guys for always tuning in. I really appreciate the love and support. Please hit that like and that subscribe button so I can keep bringing you the freshest content out there and the best perspective in the entire world. Yeah, I'm tooting my own horn. But I'm wishing you guys all the best. And until next time, take it easy, my friends.
Let's go.